welcome to FMBN Podcast here on 7FM TV, proudly brought to you by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. On FMBN Podcast, we give you all the details that you need to know concerning Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, its workings, products, and services. This program comes up here every week with housing facts, exclusive interviews, commentaries, news, and many more that bother around affordable housing in Nigeria. My name is Patience Oka, your host. Let's quickly go on a commercial break. We'll be right back.
The latest couple in town.
Good day, sir.
How are you? Oh, sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Drinks?
No, we're fine, sir.
How was the moon experience?
It was quite an experience.
How about house?
We are renting at the moment, but we intend to save enough to own our own house, right?
Why not avoid all those Shylock landlords and own a house upfront? With the average income and cost of building houses today in Nigeria, mortgage is the best option. No sweat. I tell you what, that was how I got my first house, and I've never regretted it.
To make good homes, and by implication, a good society, an individual is expected to have an abode from which to take off and return at the end of each day. At the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, everyone deserves a home. Come join us at FMBN and let's shelter Nigeria together.
All right, welcome back to FMBN Podcast here on 7FM TV, proudly brought to you by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Now, let's talk about the housing facts. A lot of people are worried and they are asking, why would they have to wait till they are 60 years of age before they get their NHF refund? Of course, here is what Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has to say. So listen to this.
The NHF Act states that NHF contributions can only be refunded to a contributor that has attained 60 years of age or has put in 35 years in service.
Good to know you are still with us here on FMBN Podcast and you are watching 7FM TV. And FMBN Podcast is proudly brought to you by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. So let's talk about an exclusive interview with 7FM TV correspondent Austin Sinam with the Group Head Corporate Communication, Mrs. Timan Alayan. Let's join the conversation.
These figures that you did mention here, is it since the inception of FMBN or what is the period?
It's since inception. Noting, however, that at the beginning of the scheme, the first 5 years were used to accumulate the pool of funds. At that time, we were just out marketing the the bank and the product NHF, getting people on board. So for the first 5 years of our existence, loans were not being given then. We were just trying to build up the pool from which loans could be accessed. So it was later on that the loans started being accessed by Nigerians.
Okay, so if I'm to give a scorecard, for instance, because you talked about awareness and how far the bank has, been up their axis to ensure that Nigerians are get aware of these good product. So if I'm to give you a scorecard, how would you score? The reason is because sometimes also, if you have a conversation with some Nigerians, some will tell you, I've not heard about this. So if you have to score, what percentage will you give on the level of awareness created?
In as much as we've done well, there's still a lot that needs to be done. It's a work in progress. Exactly. It's a work in progress. The awareness is not at the level that we would desire. Ideally, we would desire it to be 100%.
Sure.
But that may not be possible, but at least it can definitely be much higher than it is now. But it's something we're working on. We're doing our best to continue to educate Nigerians and enlighten them on what we're doing. And for those that have interest, they do go, take the extra step or go the extra mile of finding out more, going beyond listening to the jingles and on radio and TV and, acting on their interest and making inquiries. And I think we'll get there.
Nigeria is a complex society.
Yeah.
And there is this kind of a mindset that's been in existence, maybe from orientation build up, you know, where people don't really get to see government's, you know, parastatal, I mean, whatever is being projected by the government as being sincere. The general word has come, you know, stuff like that.
Yes.
So do you think that Nigerians actually believe in the information that you are dishing out to them and even the product? Do you think they believe? I mean, considering how far, you know, the work that you've been doing.
Yes.
Do you think Nigerians believe?
I believe they believe, if I may put it that way. This is because from the feedbacks we've been getting, they do believe in what we're doing because they see the results. We have our estates scattered all over the place. We have our beneficiaries scattered all over institutions that speak for us. These are actually the people that make it believable and convince others to come. Those that have benefited will always, in their excitement, they will always say, you know, I got this loan from Federal Mortgage Bank to buy my house. As a matter of fact, I remember there was a time I went for a sensitization program somewhere, and the audience, some were expressing this skepticism that you mentioned. They were like, you know, does this really work? Do you actually give the houses? So there was this person, an individual that had benefited from the loan. He got up and testified and said he had benefited from this loan. He stated when, he stated the amount he got and the location. And immediately the mood in the room changed and they became more accepting about it. So the real life testimonies are there to show us that, to convince people and to show us that they actually believe in us. I think that skepticism is gradually being taken care of, and we have the confidence of Nigerians because when they come to us, they get what they're looking for. It may not be 100%, it may not be everybody at the same time, but we do our best to cater to the vast majority that we can within the limited resources that are available to us.
Okay, there are challenges, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
So what are they?
Well, this skepticism that you mentioned again is one of them. There's a mindset some people have. Some people just believe anything government is bad or not real, you know. And so sometimes in trying to send out your message, you're working against this mindset. That is one area of challenge that we face. Some people have this innate apathy in following up on information they've received. Maybe the information you know just dropped into their laps. Sitting down at home watching TV, you see a jingle, okay, you know, about FMBN, and you feel, okay, I want to, this looks interesting. But to take the next step of probably going to our office to make inquiries or going to our website to find out more about it is what they don't do. And they would sit back and probably maybe complain and feel it's not working, when in actual fact they have not taken any step towards actualizing their dream. The other challenge that we face too would be sometimes from the press. We've had experiences where we've honored a request for a written interview, and the newspaper, surprisingly, when the interview was published, we noticed that the question, in a particular instance, the question was different from what we answered. So the response did not correlate with the question, and it didn't look. So we have some of these challenges, but anyway, there are things that can be surmounted with dialogue and engagement.
Okay, that was an exclusive interview with the Group Head Corporate Communication, Mrs. Timan Elayo. Thank you very much. Let's take a breather here. We'll be right back.
To improve transparency and accountability in managing the NHF funds, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has introduced star 219 hash. Star 219 hash is a new way to know the status of your NHF contribution from anywhere. To use this service, dial star 219 hash. Select 1 to update your contact detail. Press 2 to check your contribution status in any month up to the last 5 years. You can also use our mortgage calculator and bulletin board by selecting options 5 and 6 respectively. You can access other services by using direct shortcodes like star 219 star 3 hash to retrieve your NHF number, star 219 star 4 star 1 hash to check your last 5 transactions, and star 219 star 4 star 2 hash to check your statement of account. No internet connection required, and it is available on all networks. Star 219 hash. Simpler, smarter, faster. Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Everyone deserves a home.
Welcome back to FMBN Podcast, and you are watching 7FM TV. And FMBN Podcast is proudly brought to you by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. So right now, let's bring you FMBN News this week. Okay, we've come to the end of this week's edition. Thanks for joining us. Do well to join us next week for another educative edition of the program. You can follow us on all our social media handles displayed on your screen at Instagram 7TV_NIG, Twitter 7TV_NIG, Facebook 7TV Nigeria, YouTube 7FM-TV. You can visit our website at www.7media.ng, and of course do well to visit www.fmbn.gov.ng for more information. So till I come your way next week, my name is Patience Okai, your host. Stay blessed. Bye.